Yep. What the deal is, man. This is your brother Chief Flying Eagle, aka Lord Amaticon, aka the Black Identity Slayer. What the deal is? What's going on, my peoples? Man, listen, I gotta apologize, man. I gotta apologize to all my YouTube subscribers. You know what I mean? Like, I know I haven't been showing you guys a lot of, live love, but YouTube just pissed me off. They pissed me off because YouTube, literally, they have been shadow banning me for real, for real, for real. Like, and I just got discouraged, man. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, just always wanting to get the message out. You dig? So that's what I've been doing. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm still here, my peoples. I'm still here. I'm still here. All right. Now, with that being said, I'm just gonna get right into this. I'm not even gonna waste time. If you missed the live, then you're just gonna have to catch the recording. All right. But the reason why I'm doing this live here today, it's to let people know, as a reminder, who was one of the first ones, the very first ones. I'm talking about, like, before all your major YouTubers and Facebookers and TikTokers. I was the one that was in the trenches, teaching our people, waking up that ancestral memory of who our people are. You feel me? Jolito, welcome to the bill. You dig? So a lot of these newcomers, they got to show some respect. You feel me? Y'all got to show some respect, man, because I've been telling people from the very beginning, don't come up against me, man. Like, everybody who I've tried, see where they at right now. You can't find them because y'all don't realize I'm a special kind of dude. You feel me? But I'm going to leave it as that. All right. Now, I shared a video earlier that, Dr. What's her name? Kia Pruitt. She, it's a video that, it's been literally, it's gone viral, right? With some information about the World Court. And I could have literally just straight up, just say, hey, man, listen, that is a bunch of nonsense. But I was respectful because that's not who I am. I don't come at people like that. You feel me? Because I was raised better than that. You feel me? And with that being said, I was diplomatic about it. You know what I mean? Even if I know that information wasn't true, I was still diplomatic about it. Like, hey, that's great news. If, can we at least get the information from the World Court? Is there a docket number? Is there a case number? Is there some type of log? Where's the signature for the judges? Because people, you see, a lot of people, they want to hear things that they want to hear. They don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear things that make them feel good. You dig? The World Court doesn't operate like that. Individuals cannot go into the World Court and put in lawsuits, people, the same way regular people can't just walk into the UN and start complaining about what they're going through. This is not how this system is set up. So anyone who comes on the internet and tell you something like that, and you're not questioning that, then it says something about your own intelligence. You feel me? You cannot blame people for giving you misinformation. So let me just kind of share a little bit of that video for y'all real quick. In fact, I'm not even going to go into the video per se. I just want to share some of the comments that was made. All right, so let me go ahead and share that. Give me 1 second. Where do I have that? I know I got it somewhere. All right. Hold on for a second. I know I got it somewhere. Let me just pull it up real quick. All right. Give me 1 second. And for those of you, like I said, I'm still here, man. I'm still here putting in that work. Still here putting in the work, like for real. Never stop. Just been busy working on a lot of things. And I've been doing a lot of live on TikTok, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of my people's on YouTube, they literally have gotten a lot of the information. So I wanted to get a new crowd of people and bring them to my YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So even when I do lives on TikTok, I let them know about my YouTube. And that's what I've been doing. Constantly on the grind, just putting in that work. I've never stopped, never stopped. So this is the video that I actually posted earlier, or was it yesterday, or I think earlier. And let's just go through some of the comments. Okay. The first individual said, all right, here we go. If the UN takes the place of the United States, nothing will change. It's the same entity doing the same things, larger scale. Their new world order will begin. That's true to a certain extent. You feel me? But in essence, that is true. All right, but it's a little more complicated than just saying that blatantly. You know, indigenous people do have a voice. You dig? And it's just a matter of us, coming together as a collective. And I've always been saying this, like, how long you guys have been following my platform on YouTube and how long I've been talking about the collective. I have never individualized this journey. Never have and never will. You know why? Because I know it's not about the individuality. I know it's not about tribalism. And I told people this, yes, it's important to know what tribe you came from, but individual tribes is not going to get us where we got to go. And too many people just hold on to that concept of thinking that one tribe is going to literally give us back our sovereignty and give us back our land. No, our people are mistaken. You feel me? And the days for individuality and tribalism is over. Why do you think they push in a one world government? Because they know that the energy have shifted where the world is coming together with one consciousness. So they're using and taking advantage of that, opposed to us taking advantage of that and coming together as a collective. Will always be victims to the system because we are not paying attention to the trend, the spiritual trend. You feel me? The universal trend. We're not paying attention to that. So I'm not gonna dismiss us coming together and stepping up on a national stage, even if it's in the UN, to tell our story and do what needs to be done. All is not lost. You feel me? So I'm gonna leave it as that. All right, boom. Now, this individual said, it's public knowledge. Do your own research. She is not the one putting this truth out there. She is not the one putting this. Who said it was true? And all I'm just saying is this. I'm not being disrespectful. I said, listen, man, I never said she was. All I'm just asking people is, I'm just asking questions. As you can see, I was very diplomatic about it. I don't attack people. I've never done that. That's not my nature. I don't do that. You feel me? So I'm asking legitimate questions because you're giving people hope with information that's not validated. You did. At no point, I promise you, at no point in history, the world court has said that the so-called black people in the Americas, Negroes, African Americans, whatever, they want to call us, at no point the United Nations, not the United Nations, the World Court has said that these are the people of, they are the Moors, not the M-O-O-R, they are the M-U-U-R. The World Court has never said that. I dare any one of you to prove me wrong. Show it to me. I don't care what y'all talk about on the internet. Show me the facts. You see, documentation beats conversation. Your emotions don't mean a damn thing. Show me the facts. Furthermore, show me where the World Court made a ruling that this elder, Bernita L. something Turner Bay, that she won $85 quadrillion, and that it says in the World Court judgment, okay, that it says that when the United States is dismantled, that the original people of the land, they are going to get paid. Show me anywhere where that's, in fact, was even filed. Not even a judgment. Show me proof that it was filed. And I'll call you a damn liar. You did. The World Court don't work like that. That's not the World Court is not for personal beef against governments. The World Court deals with governments, recognized nations, dealing with recognized nations. Period, point blank. All right. So let's read some more. Boom. This individual said, she's absolutely correct. I have an old book showing we never came from Africa, and most of our people were ships around or were shipped. Well, they said this, they meant were shipped, right? But anyway, we're not going to deal with the, the grammar, that the error in that. Like, let's just read what it says. And our people were kept in the Americas as slaves. Now, you see, people have some issues, and a lot of people do not listen with attention. You see what I'm saying? Or pardon me, with intention. They don't do that. And the reason why I'm saying is that at no point I have ever said we came here from Africa on slave ships. I never said that in that video, and I've never said that in any. As a matter of fact, like I said, I was one of the first ones on YouTube teaching we're indigenous. You feel me? So with that being said, here we go. I said once again, man, listen to the video with understanding. I'm not doing the back and forth with you. You dig? Because nowhere in this video I said that what she said about us being indigenous or original people aren't true. I'm questioning the claims that the World Court had such a case, as a matter of fact. Okay? Because anytime there's a case, whether it's in the World Court or not, guess what? There's a docket number. There's a case number. There are logs that you could actually look into. You feel me? And if that was the case, don't you think that would be international news? $85 quadrillion? Where's the judge's signature? What was the name of the judge? And people are coming at me. They're coming at me now, attacking me because I'm speaking the truth. And I wasn't being disrespectful as usual, but I'm just letting you know you have to question these things. Even when I teach, I tell people, what I tell people, do your own due diligence. Don't believe anything that I say, because I don't want you to settle. I don't want you to settle with just the information of anybody giving you information. No, do your own due diligence, my people. Do it. You did. So, not because I'm not asking you to do your due diligence when I teach, because I'm giving you wrong information. No, I want you to be able to stand up on solid ground when anybody challenges you. Well, hey, I heard Chief say that, but then I did my own research. Here's the documents to prove it, because I want to sharpen you. That has always been my intentions. That has always been my goal. You feel me? So people get into their emotions. They don't listen. You did. Let's go through some of the comments, because that's what I want to deal with. Somebody said the U.S. is a corporation. Vatican and Crown has been sued by many people. Dr. Henderson of the Universal World Court sued them with the help of the King of Sudan, but nothing has changed. Okay. First off, okay, people have actually brought suits against the U.S. and won. You did. So my question is, did this Dr. Henderson of the Universal World Court, did he win anything? Because I could show cases that people have sued the U.S. government and won. So if he's of the World Court, what World Court is that we're talking about? What Universal World Court? Which one in particular? Because there's only one World Court, the ICJ, International Court of Justice. So if somebody made up their own court and call it the Universal World Court, it has, what jurisdiction does it have? You see, that's why I tell people I'm on a whole different level with this information. I've always been, because I know what to ask. I could create any document and call it anything. My question is this: what's the jurisdiction, and is it recognized among the world governments? So the King of Sudan could sue who he wants with Dr. Henderson, But the point I'm making, man, is like, listen, man, we got to stop with the nonsense. And I'm not here to attack anybody, man. You really think I like seeing all people struggle? You really think I like seeing all people going through what they're going through? No. Man, I've been on this journey for 26 years, helping my people fight the court system, helping fathers fight the court system. I just literally I just went into some YouTube. I even lost the account. When I say I lost the account, the account exists, but I cannot get back into the account because I don't have the email. But there's a video on there when my son was about 9 years old. That was about 16 years ago, man. 16 years ago. That was in 2009, I think. How many people do you know on the internet in 2009 giving old people information to fight the system like that? Show me. I've been doing it. So y'all better show some respect, man. For real, for real. Anyway, let's proceed. The next comment said, yay, Dr. Kia Pruitt. Whole lot been going on. All right. Well, yeah, because, you putting that information out here, I'm kindly asking. I'm not being disrespectful. Well, you know what, sis, man, this is great news if it's true. Well, can you at least give us the information so we could share it with people because we know it's real? You did? The next comment said, yes, I had a video on this a few years ago. All right, boom. The next one said, we ain't Africans. Matter of fact, they honestly don't care about us. But once again, who said we were Africans? Did you even listen to the video I made? I never questioned the part she said where we are actually original people. Not once in the video. But like I said, selective listening. Selective listening. And I've always told people what this is truly about when it comes to me. I have never gotten my respect from my brothers. Well, let me kind of fall back here for a second. I can't put everybody in that category. So I got to digress here for a second. You feel me? Because it would be unjust to say that I have never gotten the recognition that I deserve from my brothers and sisters in the United States. I'm not going to say that. Because a lot of you have supported me because I was like I said, one of the first ones doing this. And I was always coming with receipts, going to museums, going in communities, talking to old people, doing the penny challenge. I was the one who went to England, went to the British Museum, brought back a live video to show that the emblem of America exists. Who did all that? I did. Who went into Poverty Point? And I had the people talking about, these people on the wall, they're not the original people. But that's what they told us. You feel me? I did. Who called the Cherokee Nation in Oklahoma, letting them spill the beans? Who did? I did. You feel me? I did all of that. Who was going through Chicago, teaching old people, walking the streets? I did. So for me to say that my brothers and sisters in the U.S., and what I mean by that, the people who were calling themselves, black, and thanks to me and a lot of other people, a lot of you have given that up. So that's a beautiful thing. That's how I know the journey is real. Because I remember when I first started, people thought I was crazy. They thought I was crazy. What you mean we indigenous? What you mean we American Indians? Nah, we black. Nah, we from Africa. Stop playing the games with me, man. I was in the trenches. I know. So all you newcomers, if you don't know who I am, ask somebody. But like I've always said before, there is a specific reason why some of my other brothers and sisters in the U.S. don't give me the respect that I deserve. And a lot of y'all think it's in my head, but it's not. And I'm going to show you exactly in those comments. Let's pay attention. All right. Somebody said, the next individual said, all right, I am a FCB from these lands. All right. I'm not sure exactly what that means. So I'm not going to, assume what it means. But the individual said, these are valid questions. Gratitude, Chief. People put out a lot of info without backup intel. Real teachers such as yourself have been said to have always said, do your research, which I have, but you have always known, but you have always known as a people do not even do know where to start. And that's why I give the information. You feel me? You have at least always pointed out the material or websites or how to begin. So I appreciate love that individual recognizing that, because I've been I've been doing that. You feel me? Gratitude from one of your students. Have a wonderful day. All right. So thank you. Samila Ellis. That meant a lot. You did. Because like I said, when I was on the internet reading books to our people, nobody was doing it in terms of us being indigenous. I was the one doing it. You know why? Because when the ancestors came to me and told me, Chief, you should take it a little further. I want you to read these books to our people. You know why? Because some of them cannot read. And when I started doing that, literally, grown men, mostly men, no disrespect to my brothers, but mostly men would send me emails. I got a couple, one or two sisters in between, but mostly men reached out to me and said, yo, Chief, man, let me tell you something, bro. I got a confession, man. Thank you for reading these books, because I can't read. I know some things, but I can't read. And I've gotten at least 5 to 6, 7 emails from brothers telling me that. And I'm talking about grown men. And that made me feel good, because I was doing the work I was sent here to do. You did. I mean, I was reading 400 and something page books in videos, dropping that information, planting the seeds. I've been here doing this. So like I said, y'all better chill with the disrespect, man. I'm here to sharpen my people. Like I always say, I know how to restore my people. I've said that from the very beginning, and I'm still here saying that in 2025, going into 2026. Who was the first one who told y'all about the Jubilee in 2017? I dare you to go on the internet, on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, not even TikTok, Instagram, and show me anybody that was telling you about the Jubilee in 2017 when Trump came into office. Go ahead and show me. I'll wait. But guess who was here telling you about it? I was. What the hell did I know about the Jubilee? Not a damn thing, but guess what? The ancestors came to me and put it in my head, something I didn't even know about. I mean, I knew it was in the Bible, but I didn't know how it correlated to our situation. But they put it in my head. So I went and I did the research. I did the searching. And guess what? I'll be damned. In 2017, Trump was the trumpet that sounded in the Jubilee. And guess what they said? Hey, Chief, why don't you do the math? Because the Jubilee happens every 50 years. So if you go back 50 years, that will take you back to 1967. Well, what happened in 1967? Our people were fighting for this so-called civil rights, even if civil rights wasn't about us. Who was the first one who told you that? It had nothing to do with us. I did. Go show me anybody before me that told you that the civil rights wasn't about us. It was about the Black Europeans and the Pillar Europeans, because we were never civilians. Who was the first one who said that? Prove me wrong. I was. Because it was never about us. So in 1967, it was a Jubilee. Our people were supposed to wake up. But guess what? In 1968, they put James Brown on the scene to put our people back into a coma. You are Black, and be proud. That was a curse. Put us into a spell for 50 years until the trumpet sounded in 2017. I came on the scene. You know how the ancestors gave me a clue it happened? Because when I got on the train and I showed that video, a lady from Egypt, she got on her knees on the train. I was embarrassed. Oh, you're American Indian. You're the native of the land. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, I'm talking about a crowded train in New York. I'm embarrassed. I want to thank you because, thank you for welcoming us into your land. We're not evil people. And I said, ma'am, wake up. I'm trying to pick her up. And she don't want to get up. And the ancestors came to me right on the train in my mind and said, Chief, you know what? Chill, relax. It's not about you. It's about us. She's acknowledging us in public. And I chill. And then when she got up, she was done. I said, ma'am, I'm not asking you to go back on your knees. I wouldn't do that. But can you just please say what you told me earlier and I videotaped it. Guess what? It's on my video. I got receipts to prove it. I was the one who did that. You feel me? Let us proceed. This individual come. Are you FBA? Here we go. Whatever, Marilyn Brown. Are you FBA? I said, I'm American Indian. I'm not a color in a crayon box. I'm not black. All black persons are from a racial group in Africa. She said, not true. I'm not true. The World Court says different. Sir, stop lying. Your accent is a dead giveaway. You see, and that's why I tell my people, that's why I say this, and I mean that emphatically. That is the reason why you realize I haven't passed a certain threshold in terms of my brothers and sisters in the US who also call themselves American Indians. But guess what? My Caribbean accent. And I've always told y'all that because they think that people from the Caribbean and they're not from America. Well, maybe you're from America, but you're not one of us. And when I told y'all, I've always said this. That is why a lot of the big names, they don't give me my flowers. They don't give me my props. You feel me? And guess what? I've been doing it longer than all of them. Facts over feelings. But I continue to rise though, and I show everybody love because that's not in my nature. I don't care who bring the information. You feel me? Even when people from Europe or even Africa or Asia, whether it's an Asian woman telling the truth, I give them their props. But like I keep telling y'all, the ancestors are going to show everybody who I am. I've always said that. I'm going to continue to say that. You feel me? So no, not true. The World Court says different. Well, guess what, Marilyn Brown? Go show me what the World Court has said. Prove it to me. Prove it to me. You see, documentation beats conversation. And I'm going to show you some documents tonight to show and prove where black people are from. And y'all go deal with the US and argue and debate with the US. Don't debate this with me because you're not going to win. I promise you that. All right? So that's exactly what I'm talking about. You don't sound like us, so you're not one of us. You did? And I've always dealt with that. Always. People always asking me, well, Chief, why don't you link up with that individual? But if you and this person get together, man, do you know what's going to happen? Or what people, man, we're going to take it to another level. I said, let me tell y'all something, man. I've reached out to people. They know where to find me. I've reached out to people and I haven't heard anything. But guess what? When my people reach out to me, I return emails. I talk to them on the phone. I do all of that. I'm one of the few that they could actually reach out to and talk to. So that is the issue right there. You don't see me as one of you. And I respect you. I respect your feeling, the way you feel. And then she puts a smiley face with tears because it's a joke. All right. So I wasn't rude. I responded politely. I said, I'm not black. My skin isn't black. I'm not a color in a crayon box. All black persons are from Africa. And I'm going to prove it tonight. I'm going to prove it tonight with documentation. Okay. The next individual said, the man that made this video is from the Caribbean. He talks against FBA. I don't trust him. When has anyone heard me talk against FBA? When? Except for speaking the truth. And I'm going to speak it here tonight again. I said, check this out. I responded again very politely. I am not black. I don't need you to trust me. I am proud to be American. You descendants of African slaves will show some respect one day. And that's exactly what I meant. And I mean it. And I'll say it again. You feel me? As long as you're black, you're a descendant of African slaves. And I'm going to prove it tonight again. If you're FBA, you are a descendant of an African slave. And I'm going to prove it, like I said, documentation-based conversation. So y'all could get into your emotions, get mad. You're from the Caribbean. You had an accent. Man, you think I care about that? The first place, Columbus never came into the United States. And the first place he came was into the Caribbean. So who was the first one who was called an American? Who was the first one who was called an American Indian? Guess what? I was. Do you hear me talk about that? No, because I know it's a bunch of nonsense to isolate my people from my people. Why would I want to do that? When America is one continent. Of course, they broke it up in, like a pizza pie. Because whenever you have a pizza, right? What is the first slice in a pizza? Straight down the middle. So that's what they did with America. Straight down the middle, north and south. And then they broke it up into other slices. But do y'all research? Hmm? Or you just come with emotions and hate? That's what you do. Do you know how many times I wanted to give up on this journey because of people like y'all? But dear ancestors say, Chief, nah. You're traveling the path that's less traveled. It's not about the quantity of the people, but it's about the quality of the people. And we want you to reach out and find those that have the quality, because those are the people we are going to bring you together with to make sure that our voices are heard. Don't worry about what we call the status quo. Don't worry about them. They're going to hate anyway. We'll deal with them. All right? Why do you think my name is Original American Son on here? Because I'm the original son. Original Bomba Clyde. And y'all going to learn. Pay attention. All right? So I left it as that. This individual said, Medusa said, research it yourself. All right? And then I said, I have. Okay? Now, Tahonga said, I can't claim that more thing, but my people are original to this land. See what I said? I said, you already know. You already know. You dig. Another individual said, do your own research. You don't sound like you're from here. Here we go again. So I've always, like I said, I have always dealt with that situation from people I call my people, my brothers and sisters, but they don't see me that way. And I'm not mad. I'm not mad. You know why I'm not mad? Because every, what we call savior or Messiah, go do the track history. Go look it up in ancient history. Their people have never accepted them. Never. Never. So I'm going to keep on moving forward because I know what the journey is all about. I know what my purpose is all about. You feel me? So I'm not even worried about that. So this is what I said. I wasn't rude. Guess what I said? I'm not sure what you mean, but I'm not one of you are not from here people. All right? So you could chill with that BS. Then, all right, the World Court does not make these claims. Maybe you should do some research. You feel me? Feels like you're not from here. I redirected that comment right back to him. Because you see, the World Court does not make those claims. No individual could go into the world court and sue anybody, people. Anybody you hear saying that, they are not telling the truth. No one individual could go into the world court, okay, and sue individuals. That's not what it's for, okay? Go look it up yourself. Don't believe anything that I say, all right? The next individual said, I was thinking the same thing. Sounds like he's from Africa. No offense. This is what I said. I said, come take me back to Africa. You feel me? You can't offend me. What you mean, no offense? You come into my page and say, no offense. He sounds like he's from Africa. No offense. I said, check this out. Y'all descendants of slaves keep testing the original gods of these lands. Keep it up. Keep it up, because guess what? I could show and prove that my people on both my mother and my father's sides, they were on reservations. I could prove that. Can you prove that? Can you prove that with yours? Can you prove that with yours? You see, you're looking at a man that's hardly had any admixture. Do you know why? Even when they were taking American Indians from the United States and sending them into the Caribbean, because Barbados, all right, Barbados was the main hub. Because Barbados was so crowded and so many of the islands were so crowded, guess what they did? They sent them into Dominica. Because Dominica really didn't go through any type of slavery because it was too mountainous, number one, and it was too rigid. So they sent these people there. But y'all wouldn't know that, would you? You wouldn't know that. I have cousins in the US that they have never been to the Caribbean as far as they know. Their mother has never been. Their grandmothers have never been. And their great grandparents have never been, but yet still we are cousins. Let it make sense. Let it make sense. But like I told y'all before, you're going to learn. You're going to learn. You feel me? And I'm not doing this video for anybody's approval. I'm showing you the state of mind of a lost people. You feel me? Of a lost people. And we wonder why we ain't getting nowhere. This is why. You feel me? This is why. Because I know for a fact mine did not come from Africa. Because like I said, they were always on plantations. Okay? In Dominica. And they call it, and now they call them reserves. The Carib reserves. But what's a plantation? A plantation is an estate. Just in case you didn't know. We still have the cannons to show that my ancestors fought. There's still treaties. Okay? The Treaty of Aix-de-la-Chapelle, where even the French and the British came together and they could not beat the Caribs. I got proof of that. You dig? So I know for a fact my people, they didn't come from Africa, because I could go, like I said, into the records and show they were actually in the Carib reserves on both my mother and father's side on different parts of the island. Show me your proof. You see, and I'm not here to compare who got the biggest nuts. That's not, but don't let me go there, man. Don't put me into that energy. You feel me? I came here to teach the people. I was sent here to teach. I was sent here to plant the seeds. That's why I was one of the first ones that literally started planting the seed. I don't care who took it after me, because that's what it's supposed to be. It doesn't matter who finished the race, who sparked it, who did. Let's go into another one. Somebody said Dr. Kia has a call in her segment on her lives. All right. Another individual said the World Court ruling, they looked into it, and there's ruling an 85 quadrillion claim. Dr. Pruitt claims, all right, that the World Court determined that a woman named Berlene L. Turner Bay, also referred to as Berlene Austin, what is that? Turner L. Bay, won a claim for $85 quadrillion. Verification. There is no record in the International Court of Justice, ICJ, often referred to as the World Court, of any case involving Berlene L. Turner Bay, or a settlement in the amounts of $85 quadrillion. You feel me? So the individual said, the context Chief Flying Eagle explicitly asked for is a case number, a docket number, or a jurisdiction to verify. Like you said, that's what the World Court says. So what did I do wrong? Am I taking away your dream that you thought you had, you was going to get paid? Because the World Court never said that. Never did. Why don't you go research instead of just believing everything everybody say, including me? Because I've always said that. Do your due diligence. Don't believe anything, because in the word believe is the word lie. Let us proceed. That's it right here for now. You dig? So like I said before, man, I already know what it is. So it's not in my head. I know what it is. But I'm going to continue to do what I was sent here to do. And none of you could stop it. None of y'all could stop it. Because my purpose is bigger than you. My purpose is above your spiritual pay grade. You did. It's above your ancestral pay grade. Because you are not on that level. And I'm not talking to everybody here now. I'm talking, they know themselves. Who the cap fit, let them wear it. You feel me? But y'all gonna put some respect on my name. And I ain't baby now. All right, cool. Now this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna prove to you who FBAs are, since y'all wanna come at me. You feel me? And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The majority of the people who call themselves FBAs, they're confused and lost. Over 90% of them are actually American Indians, but they refuse to call themselves American Indians. They refuse to call themselves indigenous. I've always said that. So how are you going to tell me I'm against FBAs? Go show me a video. You see, stop talking. Go show me a video and bring the receipt to show that I've said that. You see, y'all have always attacked me, always. But every time you attack me, you cannot bring the receipts. You cannot bring it because it doesn't exist. It's just natural, uncertified. You know what I'm saying? Accusations. That's all it is. Go show me any video or any post where I've said that I have anything against FBA. Show me that. I promise you, you'll find other information of me talking about, man, the 95% or more of the FBAs, they are actually American Indians. They just don't know. And maybe some of them do, but they think they're going to get reparations claiming to be black slaves from Africa. So they're selling their birthright. I have said that, and I will continue to say that because it's true. But you don't realize that if you claim to be black, it means you're a descendant of a slave from Africa. And if and when you do get reparations, which I hope you do get it, guess what's going to happen? The US government is going to send you back to Africa where you came from because you just acquiesced to the contract. It's a contract. You agreed that you were an ex-slave from Africa. So now they're going to send you back where you came from because you got paid. Y'all really think that the US is our friend, don't you? You really think that the people who own the corporation is your friend. You really think Donald Trump is the one in charge. Well, let me explain that to y'all once more. There's 3 branches of government: the legislative, executive, and the judiciary. Do you know what they mean? And do you know what they stand for? And do you know what they do? Because I don't think a lot of y'all do. You know why? Because you don't study. You come with emotions. And I'm not talking about, hey, I'm not talking about my day ones. You feel me? Y'all know I've been doing this. So this is that's not to you. That's not directed at you. Because you know I've always come with the heat. You know that. I'm talking to the ones that want to try to play me. You can't play me. And you cannot discourage me. And you cannot stop me. Go ask the ones who have tried before. I'm not going to call their names. Where they at now? You know what happened to them? I put them in the hands of the unrighteous ancestors and they dealt with their asses. I can tell y'all I'm not the one to play with. I don't have to touch you physically. I know how to touch you spiritually. And y'all think it's a game. Y'all think it's a joke. It's not a joke, man. I don't play with this. This is our blood right. This is our sovereignty. This is not a game to me. It's not a game to me. But let me explain to you this whole system when it comes to what they call the executive branch, judicial branch, and the legislative branch. Let's break this down because it's been a while since I've been on here showing my YouTube people some love. Pay attention. And I'm talking about on a live, okay? The judiciary branch is the branch. In fact, let me start from the top. The top is the legislative branch. What is the function of the legislative branch? I'm gonna give it to you in layman terms. The job and the purpose of the legislative branch is to make laws. Make laws. They pass bills, they pass acts. Once again, bills and acts. So they're all actors. If you go to McDonald's and they give you a bill, you got to pay. If you get a phone, at the end of the month, you get a bill, you got to pay. So if they're giving you bills, guess who got to pay? But that might go over some heads. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to go too deep because I don't want y'all haters. I don't want your head to hurt. I'm not going to give you a headache with that one. So let it slide because you're not going to get it. But this is the job and the purpose of the legislative branch, to make the rules. To make the rules. Guess what's next? The executive branch. It says it right in the word what their responsibilities and duties are, their fiduciary responsibility. It tells you what it is. Guess what it is? To execute. What do they execute? The rules, the ordinances, and the so-called laws that the legislative bodies pass. That is their job. Who is the CEO of the executive branch? Donald Trump. The CEO. You feel me? So he's the head executive officer to do what? To execute the laws and the rules that were put in place by the legislative branch. So once again, Donald Trump is not the boss. He's only executing. He's not the boss. The legislative branch, they are the bosses. Do you know the job? Okay? You already know. And they're going to learn today. All the new jacks, they're going to learn today who I am. That's why I have to come back on YouTube and show my people some love. You feel me? Let me explain something to y'all. Let's go into the judiciary branch. Do you know what their responsibilities are? It is not to execute anything. It is not to make any laws. It's to analyze and interpret the laws that the legislative branch passed. You feel me? That is their job. Kind of like the referee, so to speak, making sure there are checks and balances to a certain extent. Donald Trump is not the boss. So it begs the question, if Donald Trump is not the boss and he's only executing what he was given or told or put into a bill or a law, then hold up, Chief. Who's the one running the legislative branch? I bet you ignorant fools in asking that question. And once again, I'm not talking to my day one people. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to the ones that's trying to come up against me because y'all are idiots. Y'all are fools. You feel me? Guess who's running the legislative branch? The government, the corporation. Guess what? Can I spell it out for y'all? The July people. They own Hollywood. They own the news stations. Every one of them. They own the basketball team. They own the football team. They own the baseball team. They own the hockey team. They own every single team. Guess what else they own? They own the judges. They own the courts. They own the police. But you want to make me the enemy. Really? You see, that is the mentality of a victim. Because they cannot go after the people who victimize them, then they turn into a bully themselves. They go after the individual they think that they could bully, but you can't bully me. Nah, all my life I've stood up against bullies. All my life. All my life. Do you know that in 2001, about 2001, 2002, do you know I had an organization called The Father in Me? You know what that was about? Helping fathers fight the corrupt system. Good fathers that was taking care of their sons and daughters, and mothers was putting them on child support. Some of you wasn't even born yet. Show some respect to the GOAT of this movement right here. Show some respect. I was doing that, helping people win court cases 24 years ago. Where was you at? Stealing your daddy's nuts? What is wrong with y'all people, man? Y'all are very disrespectful. I was doing that. And guess what? I got proof. I got receipts. 24 years ago, I held a rally in downtown Brooklyn in front of the Supreme Court, fighting on father's behalf. One of the first ones who did it. It was actually on the local TV. What y'all know about me, man? I've been doing this. So Donald Trump is not the one running anything. It's this July people. They are the masters in the corporation. That's why they have to give you master's degrees. Why do you think it's called a master degree? Because you got it from the master. They have indoctrinated y'all, brainwashed y'all. Don't come after the God, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not going to end well for you. I keep telling y'all. And this is not a physical threat. It's a spiritual threat. Because I don't have to touch you physically. Don't do it. If you don't know something, learn something. If you feel the information I'm putting, go research and politely ask a question, the same way I did of Dr. Kia Pruitt. Hey, sis, you know what? Man, that's a beautiful thing. But can you please do us a favor? I was diplomatic about it. I could have been like anybody else. Attack her. I didn't do that. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Because I don't want to attack people. I'm not like you. You are absolutely correct. I'm not you. I'm not you. And I'm not insinuating everyone in the United States is that way. I'm talking about your low vibrational, dirty-minded self. I'm not you. No, that has never been me. I was raised better than that. You dig? So go after the real enemy, not the one that's here to wake the people up and show you how to get things done. It's fun. It's very interesting. We out here fighting each other, attacking each other while the slave master is laughing. But you will not attack the slave master, though. Y'all could barely say Jews. Y'all could barely say nothing because you're afraid. Anti-Semitism. I say things the way they are. The Jews are the ones running the system. They are the masters. You think I care what they do? I don't. Because I've always spoken the truth. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Who won the courts? Every speeding camera. Guess what? It's a business. Guess who owns them? Guess who owns them? Every parking meter. Guess who owned them? But you want to come at me, huh? Oh, nah. Every skinfolk and kinfolk. I know that. That's why I'm coming at their asses right now. You did. I'm proud that I was born in the Caribbean. You know why? Because the ancestors had a purpose for me so that I could come here and plant the seeds and start waking my people up. Because at the age of 6, I was woke. At the age of 6, my ancestors put something in me. Even the people on the islands was telling me, what, you think you're better than us? Because I had a different mentality at the age of 6. So I came to the US with a purpose. You feel me? Not to take anything away, but to pour into my people. So show some respect for the God. You dig? So like I told y'all before, Trump is not the boss. Trump is working like everybody else. Elon Musk makes $8 million a day of taxes. $8 million a day, but you want to come at me, huh? A day. Why y'all don't go after Elon Musk? Go after Elon Musk. Why you want to come at me? Trump just literally brought in a whole bunch of Afrikaners into the United States and gave them boarding, gave them citizenship, gave them money. What else they gave them? They gave them healthcare. Afrikaners. I don't hear y'all talking about that, but y'all want to put people down from the Caribbean, American Indians, indigenous people. Ain't that a blimp? Ain't that a blimp? Y'all glorify what the U.S. is doing to Haiti, but y'all don't care that Trump is bringing in all these Caucasian people into the U.S. What do you think it means when they say, make America great again? Do you think it's for your benefit? Do you think it's for your benefit? That's what y'all really think. That the system who has taken everything away from us as a people, that they're going to give you things to make you better than them. You really think that, huh? But like I said, it's going to be a rude awakening. And there's going to be a lot of people wailing and the nagging of teeth. And I've said this since, 2013? Y'all going to reflect in your head and say, man, this brother was speaking the truth from day one, and we didn't listen. In fact, we fought against him. We criticized him. Just wait. Wait till 2026, January 6th, after the Jubilee is over. See what's going to happen. Because I gave y'all specific instructions in 2017 and told you what we had to do. But y'all thought I was crazy, huh? All right. And here we are, 2025. I told you what it was, another Jubilee. I gave you a free declaration, my people. This is what you're supposed to do. I told you that the republic is already in place. Everything is already done. I've been telling you from day one. Go look at my videos. I know how to restore my people. And I'm here telling you that again in 2025. I'll tell it to you in 2026, which is a reset. Because 2026 is 10. You feel me? 2 + 4 + 6 is 10. What is 10? 1, 1, and 0. What is that? The male and the feminine energy coming together, a new manifestation, a reset. Wait till the reset and see what's going to happen to y'all. You don't want to learn, huh? Because guess what? It's also a spiritual thing. And it's only people that vibrating on a certain frequency are going to stand this test of times. Why do you think I was pushing and teaching you to go into the courts and file your declaration? Get out of her. Put something in the glitch. Put a glitch in the system, in the belly of the beast. Do that. I knew what I was talking about. But y'all think I'm crazy? All right, watch and see. Watch and see, man. What y'all don't realize. Somebody said, yes, he did. If they he says, yeah. All right, here we go. All right. Yes, he did, brother. And if they take your brother, if they take my family crib out, this country will be destroyed. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, a lot of people they don't want to learn. You did, and you're absolutely correct. Every skinfolk ain't kinfolk. You feel me? Always been putting in that work. But see what's going to happen to a lot of our people. And I always tell our people, why do we have to be reactive? Let's be proactive. Why are we going to wait until they strip us of everything, which they already have? But apparently our people haven't suffered enough. So we have some more suffering to do. Remember years ago when I showed you a video when Donald Trump said there's going to be some suffering the first time when he became president? The very first time? Oh, it's good to be here, man. It's good to see my people. You did what I'm saying. I had to come back and drop this one. And the only reason why, like I said, I took a break from YouTube is because YouTube sent me on my statistics. And they said that, hey, you have literally reached, in terms of views, almost 2 million people since your inception. And you're trying to tell me I only have 29,000 subscribers and none of my videos could barely reach 1,000 views? YouTube has been shadow banning me. So I got discouraged. You know what I mean? So I apologize. But then I knew it was time to go ahead and just plant some more seeds. So when TikTok came about, I go on TikTok. And even when I'm doing TikTok, you know what I'm saying? I be having the most views I ever had on TikTok, literally in terms of the likes on people digging the message, was about 300,000 likes in about 350,000 likes in one live. So that was just more people, new people that's thirsty for the information. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't forget my YouTube people, my day one. Now I didn't forget y'all. That's why periodically I post videos. You feel me? You feel me? Somebody says, we just got to work through it. Oh yeah, we just got to work through it, man. That's right. And you've been shadow banned too. Yep, that's what they do. That's what they do. You did. And I tell people, I'm not just talking. You feel me? Everybody have a purpose. Some people came to just teach you, you know what I'm saying, and have you open up your mind. Others came to just listen and learn. And some came to teach you, but also show you how to do. That's me. Because my thing is this: we know we're American Indians. We know we are tactiness to the land. We know we are the original people. Then what's next? That has always been my question. So the ancestors specifically gave me instructions on what to do. And when I tell people the ancestors, they think I'm crazy. No, they have come to me, spoken to me in person, face to face. You see how the Bible say that, you know, Jacob and all this Moses, they saw God face to face. Guess what? I saw my ancestors face to face. It wasn't no God of the Bible. I saw my ancestors face to face talking to me. El mano, el mano. You dig? But let us rock. Let me show you who these FBA people are. And I'm going to say this before I even proceed. The majority of the people calling themselves FBAs, they are actually original indigenous people. But they have some interior motive, and that is thinking that they're going to get reparations. And you know what? I hope you do, because our people deserve restitution for what we have been through. Trust me, man. Our people deserve it. They do. But here's the trap. If you take the money under the guise of claiming to be a descendant of slaves from Africa, then that means you're not American. You cannot be both. How can you be a descendant of slaves from Africa, but at the same time say that you're an American? There's only one American, and that's the American Indian. There's only one. You feel me? So get out of your feelings. So you're literally selling your birthright to get a bag. Hmm? That's what you're doing. And you think it's going to end well for you? You think these colonizers are playing games with you? Hmm? Do you think they're playing games with you? No, they are not. The moment you take that bag, that means you acquiesce to being a descendant of a slave from Africa. Guess what? I hope you got your suitcase ready, because these July people, they ain't playing. They're not going to be playing with y'all. They're not. Why do you think they have their army? Their army. Where's our army at? They have their army all in the hoods, making you think it's about immigration and illegal aliens. No, it's not. It's not. It has never been about that. No. They know it's the rise of the American Indians. You feel me? So they have to go in those hoods. Do you know what the hood is? Do you know what the project is? The project is an Indian reservation. The only problem is it's not federally recognized. Those are Indians in the hood. I've been doing this. Don't play with me, man. Don't play with me. So each and every one of you that take the bag, and you think that people from the Caribbean and different parts of the America coming to, all of a sudden they want to be black. Let me tell you something. We were called black before you. We were called Negroes before you. What the hell is your problem? Where do you think the paper genocide started? It started in the Caribbean. And I got proof of that. Who do you think the first Negro de Terra was? The Negroes of the land. It was us in the Caribbean. What is wrong with y'all people, man? And then you have this notion that what you went through in the United States, it was worse than what we went through in the Caribbean. You really think so? Who do you think the guinea pigs were? We were the guinea pigs, the testing ground. I guarantee you what we went through, you cannot even fathom that. It is what you went through is nowhere close to what we went through. Y'all want the truth? Do you really want the truth? No, you don't. But you don't hear me comparing the pain of our ancestors. Why would I do that? That's a disrespect. To say that one is more severe than the other. But that's what y'all are saying. Well, you cannot have our experience because you don't know what we went through in the 60s. What the hell is the 60s? Let's go back into the 1400s. Let's go back into that. Let's go back into the 1500s. You see, my brothers and sisters in the US, you pretty much only really had to deal with the British. We had to deal with the French. Okay, some parts you dealt with the French, right? Louisiana, etc., etc. You did. But the point I'm making is we had to deal with the Dutch, the French, the Germans. We had to deal with literally all 7 nations that came across the world to fight our people. And guess what? They couldn't beat the Caribs. What is wrong with y'all? Do you really study? Or do you just talk out of your, you know what? See, that's that wild Indian blood in my veins. I'm not one of the ones to play with, man. I'm not. Like, I'm a real Indian, like a real Indian, if that makes sense. Never came. And barely any mixing. Do you know why? Because Dominica was isolated. It was isolated. I'm a real wild Indian. You know, when some people have doubts in their mind, well, maybe some people came and did this and that. No, I have no doubts. No doubts. Like original. So stop playing the games, man. Stop. Let's go into, let me show you who the FBAs are. And y'all could get in your emotions. I don't give a damn, but I'm going to show you. And I'm going to say this before I continue. Most FBAs, they're just confused. They are actually American Indians. But like I said, they have to claim to be slaves from Africa so they could get paid. You dig? Don't sell your birthright. I'm begging you, don't do that. And guess what? Nobody outside of the US cannot come take anything from you in regards to what's called reparation. That's what you think reparation is. You know why? Because you have to prove that you have an unbroken lineage from Africa as a descendant of a slave to get reparations. Do you think because you say you're black, these Jews are going to pay you? You really think so, huh? No, you have to prove it, people. How do you prove it? You do your genealogy. And I guarantee you, over 90% of you, if you do your genealogy, you got more black European in you and white European in you than African. So how are you going to get reparations? You see, you're fighting the wrong fight. You're fighting the wrong fight because over 90% of you cannot prove you're African. So does that mean I'm talking bad about FBA? No. That should give you some inclination to be like, you know what? Maybe the brother is speaking the truth. Let me go do my genealogy. Do you know I was doing a live on, well, I wasn't doing a live. I was scrolling through, browsing through TikTok. And I like to just spend about a minute or two on each live to see what they're talking about, you know, just to feel the vibe and the energy. And they invited me because they know I'll be talking about us being indigenous. So I'm talking about, you know, our people, you know, being the original people of the Americas. And I have proof and documents to show. As a matter of fact, I just did a live on TikTok, which I'm going to come and do on YouTube and show and prove that America was the firstborn with archaeological, research, historic, archaeological, and geographic research, right? I got proof that America is older than Africa by 350 million years. You did. So I'm going to do a live too, you know, just show my YouTube brothers and sisters some love. I'm going to bring that to y'all soon. You did. But anyway, the brother, he came up. He's like, man, nah, all black people are from Africa, man. Nah, I even did my genealogy like you said. You know what I'm saying? I did my genealogy. Well, so he said, you want me to pull it up? Put me on the big screen. They put him on the big screen. All right, boom. So the first thing he did, he started with himself. That's how you're supposed to do your genealogy. That's facts, right? So he started with himself. Cool. Then he changed his name to an African name. So none of the names match his people. And that's okay. You have a right to self-identify. You could change your name. It doesn't mean that, you know, you're not, your people aren't your people. You have a right to do that. But here's the interesting part. He went all the way up to his great-grandfather. All right. So he went through his mother, his father, their parents, and their parents, their parents. So he went to his great-grandfather. And then all of a sudden he took him back to the early 1800s. And on his genealogy, it says plantation slave. And he see, look, see, I told you right here in my genealogy, man, we all came from Africa and we was all enslaved. I said, brother, do you know, because it says enslaved, it says enslaved, plantation enslaved. Do you know there's a difference between a slave and an enslaved individual? And because it says slave, slave does not denote origin. Slave is just a status in a lot of those cases. And this is what he said. He said, yeah, my parents, my people are from down south, all of them from down south. But look, when it got to my great-grandfather, plantation slave. And that's the mentality of a lot of our people, my people. Even when you do your genealogy, you'll see that some of your elders, it says white. It doesn't mean that they are Caucasian. White is just a status. It meant that they had land. You feel me? They were, you know, what they call special people with a voice, or they had land, or they had some type of authority, and they took on the status of being white. That's all it meant. So he's convinced that his people came from Africa because it says plantation and slave. Ain't that something? But let's go into the FBA joint real quick. And I'm going to prove to y'all that FBAs are from Africa and that all black persons are from Africa. I'm going to prove it to you. This is what we're going to do. We're going to go to the FBA website, official website. This is not me saying that. So don't take it personal. I'm only the messenger. We're going to go to your own website. All right. Official. This is what it says. Officialfba.com. So that means it's not an imitation. It's not an imitation site. It says official. All right. Official FBA website, which stands for Foundational Black Americans. It says FBA history. Let's read. Because you see, I've always told my people I like to read with understanding. I don't read to finish. I read to start. So this is what we're going to do. Foundational Black Americans, FBA, are the proud descendants of black men and women who endured and survived one of the greatest atrocities in human history, American slavery. Boom. If you had just ended there, that would have been cool because that's a fact, minus the black. You feel me? But we know what demographic of people you are talking about. If you had just ended with that, man, that was perfect. Boom. Now you could prove and say, well, we ain't Africans. It never said that. But no, y'all didn't stop there. This is what you did. Let's proceed. These resilient ancestors built the United States from the ground up. Who told you that? It wasn't you who built the United States, people. No, it was American Indians, the indigenous people. Because why? They gave the United States and the 13 colonies permission to build on our land. Don't believe anything that I say. Go look at House Resolution 331. It was American Indians. It wasn't you. It wasn't no slaves from Africa. Who taught you that? Do you know why? Because the majority of you ain't African. So how can I be against you when I'm telling you the truth? But now you want to be black. Let us read. Let us read with understanding. However, the rich history of the FBA did not begin in 1619 with the arrival of enslaved people in Virginia. And they're not even going to tell you that the people who came in 1619 in Virginia, they did not come from Africa. These people came from Europe. But they're not going to tell you that. Those were black Europeans. Okay? Let us read. It says, it began earlier, a century earlier. So your own official website is saying that you didn't come in 1619. You came a century earlier. What does it say? Here, in fact, let's bring it up some more, because I want to make sure those in the back see very well. It says, in 1526, Spanish colonizers Lucas Vanquez de Leon brought the first documented enslaved black people to the shores, what is now South Carolina and Georgia, the coastline. Shortly after their arrival, these enslaved black people courageously revolted against their captors, leading to the collapse of the Spanish settlement. Well, hold up. Let me ask you a question. In 1526, based on your official website, Spanish colonizer Lucas Vanquez de Leon brought the first documented enslaved black people to the shores of what is now known as South Carolina and Georgia coastline. So let me ask you, where did they come from? Where did they come from? Explain that to me, please. And Lucas Vasquez was the one Spanish colonizer who brought them. And he's known for bringing home slaves from Africa, right? So explain to me, where did y'all come from again? How can you claim to be an American when you literally specifically says on your website that you came in 1526? Let it make sense. Let it make sense. I didn't say it. I'm just reading the information from your site. In 1526, that's when y'all came here. Guess what? In 1526, my people was fighting the colonizers because we have always been here. Let it make sense. I keep telling y'all, I'm not the one to be played with. I'm not. Okay? I was sent here once again to restore my people, not to fight my people. But if you want the war, it's a war you're not going to win. I guarantee you that. You're not going to win that war. So this is your own official website saying that you came in 1526. Where did you come from? Where did you come from? The Caribbean? Let us read. It can't be the Caribbean, because guess what? The surviving Spaniards retreated to the Caribbean, leaving behind the liberated black people. These freed black people integrated with local Native American societies. So you see, even your own website is telling you that you are not indigenous because your people mixed in with my people who were not Native but American Indians on your own website, making a pivotal and often overlooked chapter in the lineage and cultural evolution of foundational Black Americans. All right, that's your website, not mine. Your official website at that, not mine. You feel me? Hmm? Now somebody asked. Hmm? Oh, nice, all good. Now somebody said, was what? Was this before or after the what? The alteration of the Grand Canyon? I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Once again, all right, I'm not, as you can hear me say, the majority of the people who call themselves FBAs, they are actually original indigenous people. But when you claim to be an FBA, you are not an American. You are not indigenous to the land as in a original. You are not an American Indian. You cannot be an American Indian and a descendant of a slave from Africa at the same time. So let us stay in context. Okay? That's the point I'm making. The point I'm making is the moment you put black in front of American, it makes you an African. What part of that, what part of that are my people missing? I never disputed the fact that the people who think they're FBA are not American Indians. They just don't want to use American Indian for whatever reason. I don't know why. They don't even want to use indigenous. They just say, no, I'm Black American. There's no such thing as a Black American. There's no such thing. Because the moment, once again, you call yourself just like there's no such thing as a white American, that doesn't exist. Those are all statuses, people. It doesn't exist. So don't think I'm picking on my people. I'm not doing that. I'm telling you, whether you say black or white, they don't exist. That's what I'm talking about. Now you said what? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you get what I'm talking about, fam. There are no black people or white people. That doesn't exist. There are black persons and white persons, and that only exists in statutes and codes. You feel me? Now you said what? It is. We choose it. All right. I'm done with you, man. I'm not doing the back and forth. I'm done. I'm done. I'm gonna leave you alone. I'm done. Because you see, I'm not, you can't save everybody. You can't save people who don't want to be saved. So I'm done. All right. Bro, it ain't got nothing to do with sharing soul with God, bro. You cannot call yourself black. You feel me? Which God you talking about? Because the only soul of God you are talking about is literally the unrighteous God whose soul is black. You feel me? Bro, once again, you see here y'all go with the delineation, whatever you hell you call it, bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit, bro. How you want to come separate indigenous people from the land? You cannot do that. The universe will not allow you to do that. The ancestors will not allow you to do that. You are going to lose. So you could delineate as much as you want. You are just hurting yourself. You're not hurting the indigenous people, bro. You feel me? You said you call yourself black. You did already. I don't call myself black. You feel me? I don't do that. I don't call myself black. That's not something I practice. So I have no idea what you're talking about. And I hope you're not talking about me. All right? All right, cool. No, no, no. You see, the land is what matters, but black people are not of the land. Now, don't argue that with me. Let's go see what the United States is saying. Because like I said, show me documentation. Prove to me that the land belongs to black people. Prove it to me. Let's go into what the US is saying. Let's go. Let us go into what the US is saying. Not what I'm saying, the United States. Oh, no, 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 no. Let me say, you said, no, Chief, you're misunderstanding me. I know you don't call yourself black. I'm referring that to the guy. Oh, okay, cool. I appreciate it. And that's why, I ain't come at you with no negative energy. You know what I'm saying? I was just saying I never call myself black because I wasn't sure exactly what you was talking about. You feel me? That's why I tell people I don't do these things just strictly reaction. You feel me? Because I could have taken this the wrong way, but I didn't because I wasn't sure. So I kept it safe. I said, no, I don't call myself black. I've never done that. All right. All right, cool. No, you said, who said I believe in any form of ownership? Man, listen, I ain't got, listen, man, do you, man? Do you, bro? All right, do your thing. All right, no doubt. The US copper people are in line. That's all I care about. That's all I care about, man. My brothers and sisters that know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? So go take your shower, bro. And I hope you could, wash out that blackness of your skin. You feel me? Because this is serious. All right, let's go into let's go here. All right? Let us go into, let me see where it's at. Let me cancel that real quick. Where did I put that at? Boom. All right, let's go into what the United States is saying. Not what I'm saying, but what the United States is saying. And go argue with the United States, not me, because I'm not here. I'm not here to debate anybody, bro. I don't do debates. Okay? Let's go into the US Census, because guess what? That is the US Census.gov. Do you know who put that in place? The federal government. The federal government put that in place. Go tell them, not me. I'm only here to teach and show my people what to do so I can restore my people. That's it. If you think I'm not your people, man, it is what it is. Because I'm not going to force anybody to accept me as one of theirs. Nah, I ain't doing that. My people know my people. And they know me. Check this out. Updates to race, ethnicity standards for whom? What does it say here? For whose nation? Whose nation? You see, I have to blow it up because some people just don't see. Let me blow it up some more. It says our nation. What are they talking about? They're talking about the United States. All right? Boom. Updates on race, ethnicity standard in our nation. Let's scroll down. Right here. Okay? We are going to go to American Indian. And what you'll realize is this. Literally, only two of the categories are not tied to an original people or an original land. Pay attention. American Indian or Alaska Native. Individuals with origins. Now, the origins in any of whom? The original people of North America, Central America, and South America. What does it say? Where are these people from? They're not just, they just don't have origins, but they are the original people. Guess what? I'm one of them. Okay? And guess where Dominica is at? In North America. Original peoples of North, Central, and South America, including, for example, and they give some examples. All right? The Maya. Do you know who some of the descendants of the Mayas are? They are Haitians, and they are people in Louisiana and Ohio. Did you know that? Some of the descendants of the Mayas, original copper-colored people. Us. Okay? All right, cool. Pay attention. Let's do that again. American Indian or Alaska Native. Individuals with origins in any of the original peoples of North, Central, and South America. Period. Original people. Okay? Original people. Tied to the land. Let us go next. This is what we're going to do. We're going to go to Asian. Okay? What does it say? Asian. Boom. Individual with origins to any of whom? The original peoples of Central Asia, Southeast Asia, or South Asia. Guess what? Original people. They are tied to an original people. That's what the federal government is saying, not me. The federal government is saying that. Now you might say, well, Chief, I don't care what they say. Well, you should. Because that's the reason why you're treated the way that you're treated. Not because your skin is black, but because your status is black. And that's what I'm showing you right there. But y'all want to hate me for telling the truth. All right, cool. Let us go. We're going to pass Black and African American real quick because I don't want y'all to see. And I'm going to let's go into Hispanic and Latino. Guess what? Individuals of Mexican, guess what? No origin in terms of an original people. Guess what it says? Including Mexico, Puerto Rican, South Salvadoran, Cuban, Dominican, Guatemalan, and Central or South American or Spanish culture or origin. But guess what? Didn't they just mention in American Indians with Central and South America? But guess what they said? Original people. You see, people don't read with understanding. Now, this may sound like a contradiction. Well, hold up, Chief. I thought they said that South and Central American people, they were actually original. No, they're only original when they identify as who they are as American Indians. But if they're called Latino or Hispanic, as of in Mexican, Puerto Rican, Salvadorian, Cuban, Dominican, Guatemalan, and the Central or South American, guess what? Via a culture or origin, they are just Hispanic, but they're not tied to the original people. Boom. Let us read. Middle Eastern or North African. Individuals with origins of original, once again, original people. Original people of the Middle East, North Africa, including, for example, Lebanese, Iranian, Egyptian, the Syrian, and the Iraqi, and the Israeli. You feel me? That's interesting. They're Israeli. All right? But yet still they say that they're tied to an original people. Let's go into Native Hawaiian. Individuals with origins in any of whom? The original peoples of Hawaii. You see, they're all tied to an original people except for people who identify as Hispanic or Latino. And guess which other category the United States say that's not tied to any original people? I saved the best for last. Let's read with understanding. Once you identify as Black or African American in the United States, in fact, or anywhere else, period, but in the United States specifically, because that came from the federal government, it says individuals with origins from whom? It doesn't say an original people. It just says a Black racial group of Africa. Where in Africa? They don't know. What racial group? They don't know. They just said a Black racial group. You might as well say a green racial group because it's a color. You feel me? But yet still, Africa got 54 countries. So this is what they're saying. If you call yourself Black or African American, okay, with individuals with origins in any of what? No original people, but a Black racial group of Africa, including, they give you examples, African American, okay, Jamaican. The Jamaicans y'all don't like, guess what? The United States says y'all are the same people. Y'all belong to a racial group in Africa. The Haitians you don't like, you try to delineate from, guess what the US says? Oh no, according to us, you are the same people. You people belong to a Black racial group in Africa. That's not tied to any original people or any original land. That's what they got you as in the system. But you want to hate me for speaking the truth. I'm not here to knock you. I'm not here to criticize you. I was sent once again to restore my people. Now, if you don't want to call me your people, it's cool. I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that, man. I'm good. I'm good with that. You see, I just want to stand in grace with my righteous ancestors. And they always show me grace. So I'm good. The fleshly man ain't got to appreciate me or like me. I'm okay with that. Here's another example. What does it say? African American, Jamaican, Haitian, even the Nigerians you don't like. Guess what? The United States tell you what? As long as you call yourself Black or African American, y'all are the same people. Ethiopian and Somali. The same Somali people y'all fighting against right now. Guess what the US says? You are the same people because you belong to a racial group in Africa, not tied to any land or an original people. That's what the federal government says. So when they are done with the Somali, when they are done with the Jamaican, when they are done with the Haitian, when they are done with the Nigerian, who do you think? Y'all think y'all can't be touched because you was born in the US, huh? Keep calling yourself Black and see what's going to happen. Guess what? The federal government said that. You feel me? I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I ain't got to show nothing else. Don't debate me. Why don't you go after the real bully? Why don't you go after the ones that's telling you that you are from Africa? You cannot be Black and be indigenous to the Americas in terms of being an original indigenous man or woman. It's impossible. There's no such thing as a white American. There's no such thing as a black American. There's no such thing as an Italian American. There's no such thing as an Irish American. They are all United States citizens. The only Americans are the people who are original to the land, the American Indians. Period. Enough said. I don't care what you talk about. Bring receipts. Prove the government wrong. You hear me? You don't care about being American, so therefore you're African. You see, that's the problem with y'all. And the ignorance is what's going to cripple a lot of y'all people. You feel me? Because guess what? The name America was written in the constellation. Y'all think Vespucci gave America the name, huh? Yo, brethren, you cannot care about the people who is indigenous to the land and talk about you don't care about being American. What is wrong with you? But you call yourself black. Black people are not original indigenous people of the land. You feel me? No, you said, I never said we wasn't African. Didn't you just say we put African in front of American? Well, man, if you're African, man, then do you, man. Do you? I wasn't sent here to restore Africans, bro. I was sent here to restore my American brothers and sisters, American Indians, the Negro de Terra. That's what I was sent here to restore. So if you're African, this is not for you, fam. Now, this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to show you the etymology, which I've done before, etymology of indigenous. Anybody could be indigenous. All right. Let me show you real quick. Etymology of indigenous. That's why I got to come back to YouTube and do more lives, man, because I just feel like I'm starting all over again. Or maybe it's just the new people. I don't know. Yo, I'm going to block you, man. Calling me a kid. I'm not a goat, man. Let me block you, bro. Let me just block you. Hold on for a second. All right. You just got a block by calling me a kid, man. All right. So I'm going to block you. You feel me? Yeah. Bye. Yep. Yep. There you go. You calling a grown ass man a kid? Man, what's wrong with you, man? I'm a grown ass man, bro. What's wrong with you? A kid is a goat, man. I mean, I'm just saying, if you're gonna call yourself something, I'm just call yourself foundational copper Americans. I'm just, man, I'll settle for that. I'll settle for that. You feel me? Even if we should not deal with the color of law, I will settle for that. At least we know there's hope. You feel me? At least we know that. I'm just saying. But let us go into the etymology of indigenous. And that's why I tell our people, when we use the word indigenous, we have to be very careful because indigenous has two meanings. And I hear always people talk about Native Americans aren't indigenous. Yes, they are. Who told you they weren't? Once again, study to show thyself approved. Indigenous, what does it say? Indigenous has two meanings. Born or originating. Period. Even Donald Trump is indigenous. Joe Biden is indigenous. Obama is indigenous. Kamala is indigenous. Mike Spence is indigenous. Everybody's indigenous. The question remains, are they born, which means just to be native, or are they originating? You see the difference? That's why in our declaration in the Republic, it says original indigenous, because we know the difference. You see, we don't fall for the trickery. That's how I've been teaching y'all for all these years. But now I got to go back to foundational information. And it's okay. I don't mind doing that. Because I've been away it's my fault. I apologize for staying away so long. I promise my YouTube brothers and sisters, I will not stay away that long. I will not do that anymore. Because y'all built me. in terms of getting the information out there and learning. So I apologize for staying away so long, but I told you why I did it. Okay? So indigenous has two meanings in terms of the etymology of the word. Anybody could be indigenous. As long as you're born on a land, you are indigenous. That's why when the UN gave the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, you feel me? It was literally an open declaration for the individual to determine whether they're indigenous or not, self-determination. The only difference lies in the etymology. Either you're born or originating. You see, we are both, but we have to make sure we add originating, so it implies both born and originating. So you don't have to say, well, I'm born and originating. Okay, if you're originating, obviously you're born. But the people who call themselves Native Americans and others, they are only born indigenous people, and they're not original indigenous people. Well, Chief, can you prove that? Yes, I'm going to prove it right now. Okay, let's go back. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at Indian. All right, let's go. Going to look at the Native. Let's go into Black's Law Dictionary. Let's go into law, because I tell people documentation beats conversation. I don't play with this Native American. All they could do is come talk about you black, you black. That's all they could do. You know why they keep calling us black? Because they know black means you're from Africa. You belong to a racial group in Africa, tied to no land. When Native Americans keep saying we are black and we're from Africa, that's what they're telling us. The utmost disrespect. But I like to show them in law. You see, like I said, documentation beats conversation. In law, you did. Let's go into Black's Law Dictionary. What does it say about a native? Who's a native? What does it say? Those are not my words. It's in law, and they have court cases. Pay attention. What does it say? A natural born subject or citizen. That's who a native is. A natural born subject or citizen. Why do you think Native Americans don't really say they're American Indians? Because they know it's a difference. So they'll always say, oh, you're not Native American. Well, we know that. We never said we were, and we're not trying to be. And they always have to use that. You're not Native American. Only a few will say, one or two will say you're not American Indian. Only one or two. Because they cannot call themselves American Indians because they are not American Indians. So they have to say Native. You dig? All right, pay attention. Black's Law Dictionary. A native, a natural born subject or citizen. What does it say? A denizen by birth. One who owes his domicile citizenship to the fact of birth within the country or referred to. But what does it mean? A denizen by birth. What does that mean? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's go look at the meaning of denizen. Of denizen. Let's go look at that. Boom. And that's Black's Law Dictionary. I'm not the one making it up. Let's go look at denizen. Boom. Denizen definition. They have 2 minutes. Okay? Let's hear the pronunciation of the word.
Denizen.
Denizen. They have the literary meaning, which means an inhabitant or occupant of a particular place. But guess what the historical meaning means? In the British English, what does it say? A foreigner allowed certain rights in an adopted country. Native Americans was adopted by the United States in the late 17th, early 1800s when all the treaties were being ratified to take our damn place. They were adopted by the United States. They did not come from the Bering Strait 15, 20,000 years ago. That's a lie. They came here through the fur trade with Russia. Even they themselves was literally enslaved in Russia. Oh, y'all didn't know that, huh? Go look it up. They was adopted by the United States to take our place. Before I come back to the live, I'm going to now show you Indian in Black's Law Dictionary, because I don't want people to say, well, Chief, you're being biased. You're talking about the Native Americans in the Black's Law Dictionary. What about the Indians? Well, let's go see what Black's Law say about who an Indian is. And there's even a court case. What does it say? Black's Law Dictionary. What does it say? An aboriginal inhabitant of North America. Period, point blank. I keep telling y'all I'm not the one to play. Don't let me come back. Don't let me come back to YouTube and have to lay it down, man. Please, man. Don't do that, man. You feel me? Because I'll come back. I'll come back. Okay? I'll come back, man. Don't do that. Don't let me come back with like Jordan. Don't let me come out, out of retirement. I have 23, come back with the 45. Don't do that, man. Don't do that. You feel me? Because I like to show documentation. Documentation. It beats conversation. All right? So I just wanted to come show my brothers and sisters some love on YouTube. I'm not even going to waste your time and stay here for another hour or two now. Just wanted to come point this out. So in conclusion, this is what I'm saying. My people, it would behoove you to give up the word black when it comes to an identity. You feel me? Let's give it up. If you want to continue to be black, that's on you. That's on you. Do your thing. You feel me? Do your thing. Oh, nah, I'm here. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. You did so. I'm gonna do more lives, and that's a promise. All right. I'm gonna do more lives on YouTube. I'm not just gonna give you uploaded videos. I want to feel that instant energy. You dig? So I'm gonna be doing that. But the point I'm making is this. In conclusion, I don't have anything against people who call themselves FBAs. Okay? Yes, I am the Black Identity Slayer. Because the reason why I don't have anything against them, because I truly think a lot of them are just miseducated and misled. All right? So that's number one. Secondly, I think a lot of them are doing it intentionally because they want to get reparations, not realizing it's a trap. Because when you get reparations as being black, a descendant of slaves from Africa, you have just acquiesced that you have no ties to American soil. So therefore, the corporation will get rid of your ass. You really think they can't, but they will. I promise you that. Watch it happen. Okay? And I'm going to say this in closing. The majority of y'all are actually American Indians. You are actually original indigenous people. What I would suggest is do your genealogy. When you see certain phrases like that brother I spoke of earlier, that talk about when he's seen his great-grandfather, it says plantation slave. It doesn't mean that a slave that came from Africa. Okay? It does not mean that. Being a slave does not denote origin. It does not denote origin. Okay? You guys are absolutely welcome. All right? Somebody said it's so strange how mad they get when Caribbean people declare we Americans. Well, like I said, man, I tell people I was sent to build a bridge, amongst all the children of America, because America is one continent. You see, the individualism and the tribalism, it's done. The energy for that is done. I'm not saying that you should not work on yourself individually. I'm not saying you should not know your individual tribe. You should. But it has to be about the collective. It's the only way, my people. It's the only way we're going to get this done. You feel me? The people who own the corporation, guess what? They got their armies. They got an army. They got a navy. They got the Air Force. They got it all. They got the Marines. They control that. Let me know what we have. But we are here fighting each other. Think about what I just said. And they draw the attention from everybody else. You cannot talk about us because we are the chosen people of God. Which God are you talking about? Which one? Which one? That's my question. They are the ones that are the masters. And they have us under servitude. POWs in our own damn land. And we are here fighting each other. We should be in uproar what's happening to all our brothers and sisters in Haiti. We shouldn't condone. How can indigenous people be illegal in their own land? Let it make sense. Let it make sense. Let it make sense that a colonizer is telling indigenous people they are illegal in their own land. They're not illegal on the land. They are illegal in the United States corporation. There's a difference. But my people refuse to learn. Well, not everybody. I keep telling my people, I know how to restore my people. I was sent for this. I know what to do. It's already in place. But in Exodus, the God in the Bible did say, God people are stiff-necked people. So I know what I'm dealing with. That's why I haven't given up. That's why I continue to love my people, show compassion. But sometimes I got to come and give the harsh truth. I have to. You feel me? So I don't want no misconstrued information out there. Well, Chief was on the internet talking about he hate FBAs and he hate black people. I never said that because I know the mentality of some of y'all Negropeans. I know that's what y'all do because y'all are just so miserable. You like misery. So you will twist everything and lie and say and take a song bite. And this is what he said and not let nobody listen to the whole video. I already know your mentality because you came to create this, the destruction, to be deceivers, to be agents of unrighteousness. I know that. I already know. So I just want to make sure I put that on the record. I am here to restore each and every one that's willing to learn the truth. Not opinions, not emotions, but truth. What's documented. And if the US government, the federal government is telling you, if you call yourself black or African American, you're no different from a Jamaican. You're no different from somebody from IET. You're no different from somebody from Nigeria. But the only difference is that puts all of you guys in the same category is that you belong to a black racial group in Africa, not tied to an original land or an original people. Oh, no doubt. Oh, I know y'all know better. So this is not at you. This is just me coming to show my people some love again and stepping up against, talking to the fools that want to come up here and test me and disrespect. You dig? Y'all cannot disrespect me, fam. No matter what you do, you cannot change who I am. You cannot change who I am, man. You can't. You can't do that. Because all my life I knew who I was. This wasn't something that just happened to me. No, I always knew that. And when people don't call themselves black, you want to tell them that they are not pro-black. They are not proud to be black. What you mean? In fact, let me show you a video from a sister on TikTok. Listen to what she said. Listen to what she said. So I'm going to prove to you once again exactly what the FBA website says. They're slaves from Africa. Listen to what she's saying. Pay attention. I'm going to show you right now. Here we go. Here we are.
So you're trying to reskin African Americanness over other ancient cultures that you believe are better or good enough to be respected by white people. But I'm telling you right now, African Americans have a long history of perseverance and struggle. My very strong opinion is that you are not pro-black if you believe that black people are the real Israelites, black people are the real Egyptians, black people are the real Native Americans. You are not pro-black. I say that because you don't actually respect African-American culture. You do not think that African-American culture is worthy of love or respect or being revered. So you're trying to reskin African-Americanness over other ancient cultures that you believe are better or good enough to be respected by white people. But I'm telling you right now, African-Americans have a long history of perseverance and struggle in the face of unsurmountable odds. Your ancestors were slaves. They weren't taught to read or write, and they still developed a complex community structure. They developed music and songs and dance and quilting and so many beautiful traditions. And instead of looking into that and researching that and loving that, you are trying to reskin other people's culture because you don't love yourself. My very strong opinion is that you are not pro-black. If you
isn't that what the Native Americans say? Isn't that what they say? So the point I'm showing y'all once again, you did. You see what she said? So she's correct because all black people are from Africa. They're descendants of slaves. She's correct. But this is where she's mixing things up because the cultures that she talked about was already in the Americas. Quilt did not come from Africa. That was already in the Americas. Music did not come from Africa. It was already in the Americas. The structures that's in the Americas, it didn't come from Africans. It was already in the Americas. You did. You heard what she said. Black people are trying to say that they are American Indians. They're still in the native culture and the native identity. Yeah. And she's correct because she's black. So if you say you're black, you cannot say you're American Indian or you're indigenous or original to the land. She's absolutely correct. But I'm not black. You see the difference? That might go over some heads. I'm not talking about my peoples now. I'm talking about the ones that's still a little bit confused, cognitive dissonance. You feel me? So learn the difference. That's what black means. Anytime you call yourself black in the United States, under this colonial system, it means that you are from Africa, from a black racial group in Africa, not tied to a land or a people. So when the police officers stop you, it's under assumption that you are black. And therefore, they're going to treat you like an individual that's not tied to an original people and an original land. You see the difference? That's the difference. Man, this is crazy. It's crazy. All right. Oh yeah, she's out of her mind. You feel me? But and guess what? My videos don't have the amount of views that her videos got. Do you think it's a coincidence? She have all these thousands of views and people in the comments. Yes, sis, you're right. They're right. They're not pro-black. They're not, and they're not pro-black, and they don't know what our ancestors from Africa on slave ships came here. And man, if you go read them comments, ooh, man, it is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. My people, our ancestors did not come from Africa on slave ships. That whole story about 12 point million, that's a lie. Not even a million. I'm going to tell y'all something y'all might think I'm lying about. Not even a million people came from Africa on those as slaves. The few people that came here from Africa, guess what? Those people came here as indentured servants. Their kings and their village leaders got paid because they came here as servants. They only became enslaved on the land when the contract of servitude was no longer acknowledged. You feel me? And I'm going to do a lesson on that. And I'm going to break that down for y'all. And it's sad that this educational system, the movies, the media, has planted those seeds in our people. And when I broke it down to them, let me explain something to you. Kunta Kinte, that movie, Roots, was a seed that they planted. You could never have roots of a tree if a seed is not planted. You feel me? So the seed was already planted. And then the roots was actually a reverse psychology, a subliminal message. Because Kunta Kinte is 2 Choctaw words that mean whistling beaver. I've said that before, but for the newcomers that want to disrespect, let me explain that to you. Kunta Kinte means whistling beaver. 2 Choctaw words. Whistling beaver. But what they did was, they didn't start at the end of the movie, which was supposed to show that he ended up being African. They tricked you, so they put the end of the movie in the beginning, making you think that the story started in Africa. But let me tell you exactly where the story started. The story started when they let you know that his name was Kunta Kinte and he became Toby. So they showed you literally on national television in the movies that we're going to take a Choctaw man and we're going to beat the Indian out of him. And we're going to make him African Toby right on the screen. And y'all don't even know. That's what it meant. That was the subliminal message in the movie. A Choctaw Indian that was beaten until he accepted being African. Go look it up. Go online and look up the Choctaw Dictionary PDF and go look it up. And look at whistling. Go look at Kunta Kinte and you'll see exactly what it means. Whistling beaver. That was propaganda. And then after that, guess what? Nothing but 12 years of slavery movies. The Color Purple. Because they was planting. If you tell people a story long enough, it becomes their reality. And that's what happened. What did Henry Pratt, what's his name? Henry Pratt? Yeah. What did he say? Let me show y'all real quick. Let's go back to Google. Henry Pratt, what did he say in the 1800s? Let me pull it up. Give me 1 second. I'm going back to basics. Henry Pratt. Henry Pratt said, kill the Indian, save the man. When did he say that? Let's pull it up. Let's go boom. I'm going to show y'all. And he was the one who set up the Carlisle Institute. All right? Let me go ahead and share that for y'all real quick. Boom. Now I'm not copying, I'm sharing. Hold on for a second. Share the screen. Right here we go. Share screen. Henry Pratt. What did Henry Pratt say? Right here. What did he say? R.H. Pratt. What did he say? Kill the Indian in him and save the man. Henry Pratt. R.H. Pratt on the education of Native Americans. But guess what? You see, don't let that word Native American fool you, because Native Americans have always been Native Americans. Show me one part in history, as far as the United States is concerned, when they were educating Native Americans to not make them Native Americans. In fact, they taught them that they're Native Americans. You see, you see the subliminal message, but let's read. This resource includes the full text from Captain Richard Henry Pratt's speech, which he used, all right, the now well-known phrase to describe his philosophy, assimilation, kill the Indian in him and save the man. The speech was delivered in 1892 during a national conference. Okay? Same thing with Walter Ashby Plecker. Same thing, eugenics. Let's make sure we kill the Indian, but save the man. How do you do that? You change their identity on paper genocide. So let's call them colored. But guess where it started? With Negro de Terra. Like I said, I'll do a lesson with all of that. They just gave me motivation to come back on YouTube and set some more fire. Because I don't think they know who I am. All right? So, man, I love y'all, man, as usual. So I'm about to conclude this build. Just wanted to come and remind some people who I am, because I think some of them, they just don't know, or some of them forgot. And I don't blame them. It's been a while since I've been away. All right? But I'll be back a little more often. You feel me? I got y'all. All right? So with that being said, we'll talk a little later, man. You know, I'm going to go chill for a minute and relax myself. And let's continue to move forward. All right? The only way this is going to happen is as the collective. We cannot fight this individual war. We're not going to win. Guaranteed. Yes, we may win some individual battles in between. Yes, we will. But let's focus on the war. Winning a battle does not mean you win a war. And losing a battle does not mean you have lost the war. Let's focus on the war. And my people, we have been at war since the 1400s. It never stopped. All right? It never stopped. And I'm going to do a lesson and show you the number of years of the wars that was fought on our land from 1494 all the way up to 1923. when they decided to bring the Indian Citizen Act of 1924. And even up to this day, we're still fighting. You feel me? No doubt. I'm looking forward to talking to y'all again. All right. Absolutely welcome, man. You already know. You already know. I never left. You feel me? Like I said, I just took a little break. You know what I'm saying? Go teach, on another platform because I felt I did my due diligence on YouTube. You did? And I know you guys was in good hands. But I'm coming back here, dropping 1 or 2 videos, and I see we have some people who don't really know who I am on this platform. And they're not showing respect to the God. You feel me? So I had to come back and set these people straight. Sit down in a corner. Go take a seat in the corner. All right? And do your research and find out who I am. Because like I said, I've been the foundation of this. Teaching our people who they are on YouTube. I dare anybody to prove me wrong on that. I got receipts. And I'm just getting started. Just earlier today, I just went to get a declaration. Man, I had a declaration on the website. Just so y'all know, the declaration that was on myniji.com. This is what people are doing. I literally had that declaration on my site, myniji.com, for literally about 1.5 years now. I gave it to my people as a gift. Do you know that there are people out there taking my declaration and selling it to people for $75 to $300? Why are y'all doing that? This is my intellectual property. I took 3 weeks into meditation before I put that together. And y'all took my declaration and 3 people came back to me, you know what I'm saying, asking questions. Ask them, oh, where did you get that? Oh, well, I bought it from somebody for 75, and one individual for 300. I'm like, really? People are selling my declaration I gave to my people as a gift? Do you know the type of curse you just put on yourself? That's a disservice to the ancestors because it was a gift from them so that I could give to the people. So I took it off the website and then I literally revamped it, create a more powerful one with more specific, in fact, right now with a cover letter that goes with the court. You feel me? And I just couldn't believe they was doing that. But I took it off the website. I did. Because people are just too disingenuous. I just don't get it, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm still going to continue doing what I was sent here to do. Like I told y'all before, we got the Republic. And the Republic is strong right now. It's about 75 of us, no, 70 of us in the Republic. And we got another 2 or 3 that's coming in. But we are growing. We are growing. And we are making positive moves. The matriarchs are doing great work. You know, we have people in California. We got people in Detroit. We got people in Michigan. We got people in Texas. We got people in Georgia. We got people in of course, Louisiana, because I just moved to Louisiana from New York. I've been down here for 3 months now. So I just moved to Louisiana, just in case y'all didn't know. I just moved down here. All right. So we got people in Mississippi. We got people in Colorado. We got people in Washington, D.C. Where else we got people? We got people in Jersey. We got people in Florida. So yeah, the Republic is growing. So what we're doing now, we are linking everybody that's in the Republic in the same state. You feel me? So we created a system where everybody know everybody's skill and what they do. So we could start, battering with each other. You know what I mean? So we're definitely making some beautiful moves. All right. Yeah. I think we got I think we have in North Carolina people that's part of the Republic. I'm not sure if we have people in South Carolina, but I know we have people, at least 1 or 2 people in North Carolina. You dig? So the Republic is growing. You dig? So I'll definitely come back and talk to you guys about that. You feel me? My email is always in the link in them videos. You know what I'm saying? So if you have any questions or you want more information, by all means send me an email. You dig? And we'll make it happen. But we growing. All right, we growing. We took back the original Constitution. The original. I had permission to take that back. I took it back. All right. So it's like I said, it's time to restore the people. I know how. I've always said that. I know how to do it. I can't do it alone. All right. So thank you. Says, how can I join with them? Send me an email. All right. My email should be in the description of the video. If it's not, then I'll put it. I'll make sure it's in there. But you can send me an email. I got you. All right. I'll definitely make sure you get that information. Just send me an email. All right. I'll put my email in the description of the video when we're done. So it's gonna be in there. All right. But like I said, we're doing some amazing work, man. For real, for real. We got our own flag and we putting in that work. You dig? And this is just the beginning. And like I always tell people, you know, nothing is gonna happen overnight, but I do know this. The ancestors got us on the right path. And they gave us a solid, republic government for our people. And we're going to continue to grow and make things happen. All right. And let me tell y'all something. You'll hear a lot of people talk about, they in the UN and they this. Man, listen, stop listening to these people with their nonsense. All these people making all these empty promises on the internet. Y'all got to be careful with that, because people just don't get into the UN like that and do stuff. It's a process. You feel me? And even if you get into one of the UN forums, it doesn't mean that you're recognized internationally. That's not what it means. Okay? That's not what it means. Like, for instance, it's been literally almost a year now. I've been talking to one of the consulates from Dominica at the UN, and I wanted him to introduce me to somebody that deals with indigenous people. So I've been literally asking him for like about a year now, but he's always traveling because he's an ambassador, all right, a diplomat, right? So anyway, he just came back from The Hague about, I would probably say like about 3 weeks or a month ago. And I told him, hey man, listen, man, I need to get in touch with this, I need some information, you told me you was gonna, anyway, long story short, he gave me the dude's email. I sent him an email. He sent me his number. I called him. I was like, listen, man, I'm an original indigenous man, American Indian, and my people are going through such and such, man. And, for whatever reason, we don't have a voice. We don't have an international voice. We don't have a national voice. Is there any way you could kind of give me some directions to find some type of footing so we could get into or on the UN platform? You know what I'm saying? Not that we think that people are just going to come rescue us. No, but we want the world to know who we are and what we're dealing with. So he said, no, the problem. He gave me specific instructions what to do. So what I did was I went through the process, fill out the information, and he said, it normally takes about 2 weeks for them to get back to you, to see if you're approved or not. Guess what? I did that. I would say it was a process. I started about 8 p.m., 9 p.m. And then I was done like about 10, because it's a lot of information you have to put. When I was done, I laid down for a minute, and in less than an hour and a half, guess what? I checked my email. They approved it. So now, our republic created an organization on behalf of we the indigenous people, and it's approved in the United Nations. Now, it does not mean we are recognized internationally. You see, I tell people I don't like to put false information out there. You did. I got too much integrity for that. You did. So, but what it does mean is that when there are issues with indigenous people, then we are allowed to come to the forum. So now our republic could send representatives from our republic to talk about the plight that our indigenous people are going through. All right. So we now have a voice, and therefore our organization that we created, that the republic created. All right. We created a separate organization. All right. Now it is actually, once again, it is known internationally. It has nothing to do with being acknowledged as a republic or a nation. That's not what I'm saying. However, we do have access, and we are now in a position when they have indigenous forums at the UN, we could send our own delegates. All right. So I just want to make that clear. This is what I accomplished. You feel me? I am putting in the work, my people. I am putting in the work. Nobody said it's going to happen overnight. These people have been fighting us since the 1400s. And guess what? It's 2025 and we're still fighting. So don't think that anything is going to happen overnight. I'm not here to look for instant gratification. Now, if some gratification comes in instantly, well, hey, man, we'll take that. But I'm in this for the long run. I'm tired of seeing us struggle, seeing us go through pain, see us disrespecting. Everybody get to live the American dream, but the only Americans are living a nightmare. How many times I've said that, and I keep saying the same thing over and over again. My message has always been consistent. It has never changed. You feel me? So with that being said, man, I love y'all. Enjoy the rest of your continuation. And for those of you, like I said, who want information on the Republic, just send me an email. And I'll make sure I send you the website information, and let's continue to build and grow together because we got work to do. All right, let's put all the egos aside. The egos is not going to take us where we got to go. Let's put them aside and do what needs to be done because we have one thing in common. All right, we have colonizers on our land, literally. I'm talking about, with that vampirish energy sucking our blood, literally. Okay. All right, cool. So thank you. And we'll talk soon. All right. I love y'all. Peace and love.